Hi everyone, it's Marla. Welcome back to Eclipse, Astrology, and Tarot. This is the weekly reading for the week of March 26. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can visit my website at eclipseastro.com and follow me on Facebook at Eclipse, Astrology, and Tarot. So let's get to the weekly energy. The first card is the overall energy for this week of March 26, and it's the Ace of Arrows. I had to laugh when this card came up. If you guys have been following me, you know that we've gotten this card like 3 times in the past month. I was like, come on guys, you have to give me some new cards. I can't keep giving the same reading over and over again. But this card actually has a slightly different meaning this week. So as you know, this is a new beginning that's born out of adversity. And it also means clarity. And so I feel like this week you begin to have some real clarity about the karmic situation that you've been dealing with. You know, I've also been talking about that a lot. We've really been working on clearing out the karmic baggage. But there's still some situation in your life, some relationship with someone, could be a lover or a friend that you're dealing with, that still needs to go. But I feel like you know that. You're very clear on that this week. And you're really standing in your power around it, and you have some courage now. The Sun and Mercury have moved into Aries. Aries is courage. And so you're ready to cut the situation out. Now, this is the Ace of Arrows in this deck, the Lover's Path, but normally this is the Ace of Swords. And swords cut. So I feel like you're not emotional anymore. You've got clarity. You're acting from a place of logic and reason. And you're just like, yep, this has to go. I'm going to cut it out. And it's gone. We have 2 cards for the hidden influence this week. The first one is the Lovers. This is Isis and Osiris on this card. So, okay, this is that relationship I was talking about. So it could be a new love comes into your life. When you finally let go of that karmic relationship or that karmic friend or that karmic family member, a new person comes in to take their place. Or it could be that you have to choose between 2 people. Could be some kind of love triangle. The Lover's card represents having to make a choice as well. So who are you going to choose? It's like coming to a fork in the road, and I really feel that it's like, I see the fork in the road has the north node and the south node. And which direction do you want to go in? The south node is where we're safe and secure. We don't have to make any changes with the south node, but we're not really happy on the south node either. You know, you've been living this relationship with this person over and over again, and it's not changing because you don't break the cycle. So going towards the north node is scarier. You don't know what's ahead, but there's a much bigger chance of finding happiness. And truly, you need to find happiness inside yourself. Anyways, it doesn't come from another person. So you could have some kind of test or temptation that you're thinking about. And this card also represents healing. Isis resurrected Osiris from the dead. She even had a child with him, Horus, after he was dead. And then Osiris becomes the lord of the underworld. So there's healing. And Venus is conjunct Chiron this week, which is the wound, that relationship, the karmic relationship. It has this wound, and this is a really bad way to say this, but it's kind of like when you have an infection or a boil or something, and you can sit there and just let it go, and it just keeps getting worse and worse, or you can cut it out, cleanse the wound, and it starts to heal. But you have to look at it, and you have to get rid of it. So if there's a negative relationship in your life, like just pretending it's not there is not going to heal it. You have to actually acknowledge that you're not happy, that it's not the right relationship for you, and set about getting rid of it. Otherwise, the wound just festers. I feel like Venus has kind of gone through, like she's had a really weird time in Pisces. She's met up with a lot of planets, and, with Neptune, she was all full of love. This was on the spring equinox. Full of love, unconditional love. And then she had Saturn, and it was like, oh, that's really not what I thought it was. This relationship is actually really restricting of me. And so she's seeing it. She's acknowledging it. And then she hits the South Node and Chiron. And it's time to let go and heal. The second hidden influence card is the Five of Arrows. So this card is things aren't working out as you had hoped that they would work out. And so you realize you have to move on. You see Cupid, he's moving away. It's time to admit that the relationship isn't what you thought it was. What I was just saying about Venus, and getting clarity on what is really there. Like, you've seen it now. With the eclipses, especially, you've seen it. But what I'm getting from Spirit is that you're going to be struggling a little bit still, because there's this ego part of you that doesn't want to acknowledge that you're a failure because this relationship didn't work out. And you could be doing the blame game as well. There's a chance with this card that you let your ego win out, and then you end up suffering. So it's like you think, oh, everyone's going to judge me if I leave this relationship, so I'm going to stay. And that's your ego feeling like you've won. But in reality, now you're just saddled in a bad relationship for the rest of your life and not happy at all. So you really you're hurting yourself, really. So just admit that you were wrong. You know, things change, people change. This card could also be someone being jealous of you and malicious and gossiping about you, especially I think in conjunction with this card, because this card could be seen as sharp words. So if there's a friend or something that you're not sure of, or someone that you can't trust, it could be that they're talking about you behind your back, gossiping about you. So our advice from Spirit card is awakenings. And this is about awakening to love. This is Cupid and Psyche on here on this card. So what Spirit is saying is that this is a really great time for us. You know, it really doesn't feel like it because we're having a lot of our issues come up. We're being triggered a lot. But really, we're clearing everything out. That wound is getting cleaned out and it's going to be cauterized. And it's going to feel like such a relief. It's really a time for us to be optimistic and to find joy. And know that when we have the space in our life, that the right people, the right situation is going to move right in. You know, you're on the right path. And the thing to do here is to come from your heart, not to come from your head. And we've been battling over that for a very long time. What's going to rule you, your heart or your head? Well, the reason we've been getting rid of all this karmic baggage is so we can live in our heart. That's the path to enlightenment. That's the path towards awakening. And so you're on the right path. It may seem like it's wrong. And maybe if you have to make some tough choices around your relationships, you know, if you need to get divorced or end a long-term relationship or end a relationship with your child's parent, that's a tough choice. And it does need a lot of thought. And to people on the outside, it can seem like the wrong choice. Because there's a lot of people out there that want to judge other people. Because they're living in their ego. They're not living in their heart. And so they want to tell you what to do. And they want to make you feel guilty. But you can trust your heart. And if your heart is telling you to do something, it's the right thing to do. And it may not look like it to people on the outside, but it's all about you. And you know, another way to interpret this card is listening too much to other people's opinions and not doing what's right for you. And trust that everything's going to be healed. And you know, when you're looking at a karmic relationship, say it's someone that you have to break up with, and you can feel so bad about that. But really, if you are not in love with them, how are you serving them by staying in a relationship with them? Don't you think that they deserve to have love too? They can't find their partner that truly loves them if they're still in a relationship with you. So while setting them free may seem like the wrong choice when you're coming from your ego, when you look at it that way from your heart, you see that it's not only the right choice, but the only choice. I drew a goddess, not a goddess, an Ascended Masters card for us this week from Doreen Virtue's Ascended Masters deck. And Follow Your Heart came up, St. Francis of Assisi. So trust that your heart's true desires are leading you down the right path. And again, I'm being reminded of the North Node. That's your soul's path. Drop the South Node, move towards the North Node. If you don't know where your nodes are, contact me for a reading. And, these are important astrological placements that everyone should know where they are in their chart. So I'd be happy to do a reading for you and let you know what direction your soul wants you to go in this incarnation. So take a leap of faith is what I'm hearing, and trust that the universe is there to catch you. You can trust your feelings here. You can trust your intuition. You're being divinely guided right now. I love this card too for this weekend. Tomorrow's Easter. And we have the animals on the card. Of course, St. Francis is the saint of animals. And the doves there for the Holy Spirit. And there's two doves. There's always two doves on these cards. So it's time for a change. You know what to do. It's safe for you to do it. The universe is guiding you. So go ahead and jump. Have a great week. If you celebrate Easter, have a happy Easter. I love you, and I will talk to you next week.